But you don't want it.
So when do you want it? After President tenure?
It should have been ever since. You have allowed Helen Johnson to be president for our country for 12 years for what? After she abated war, she told you she financed the war, and then they put her in power. Why now? Now that we are in charge, check the TLC report. What does it say? What does it depict? What are the conclusions concerning the TLC report? You've breached it already by allowing the past president to run and then assume power for 12 years. Then you coming to us now and talking to us as if we are fools. You think the Liberian people are fools? You want to bring commotion in our country? Let's take the wall and see what is happening out there. We as the people's deputies must take it to our people.
Okay.
Hold town hall meetings once, twice, thrice maximum, and discuss it with the people. And from what the people say, because we'll have the press there, we'll have some of you there. When I'm holding my meeting or my meetings, you will be there. I will hold a meeting down West Point. I will hold a meeting at the Newport Junior High School. I will hold a meeting down the PHP Center Street area. I will hold a minimum of 2 meetings, but I would like to go 3 big ones that will have people assembled that are residents of our district and tell us how they feel. If the people themselves say, well, we want a war crime court, then we go to it. We will go to it. We are the people's deputy.
Restitution. Make sure that people give back that which they stole from the people to rebuild this country, to provide life. Today we are in a situation with this pandemic. Where do we stand? Where are the drugs? I mean, we just ride around here. Look at the misery in which people live. Look at the roads. Look at, you go to red light. Is that the kind of country that you want to be in? One of the things that I read and always touches me when they ask people what country you want to be born into. All of us want to go to beautiful places. I'm one person. Everything good I see elsewhere, I say I wish they were in Liberia. I do not enjoy things in other countries. And so what do you want is to enjoy life in other people's country. When you come home, you can't even measure up. And why is that happening? Do we lack talent? No. We have a lot of talented people. Are people not working hard? They are. But should somebody else let the people just work and forever be at their gate? That's not a way of life. And so you should be able to account for that confidence that you say that repose in you to serve the people. You should tell them what you did or what they entrusted you.
Then one more here. The cost Nyobli Kanga Lauren lays in along the boulevard around the new ministerial complex. That house was constructed for her by her former partner, Mr. Cyril Ali, during the MPP days when corruption was flourishing in the country. So she has zero record on fighting corruption. Then you come to my friend Dillon. Dillon is an indecent opportunist and a dishonest charlatan.
But Anthony Jackson,
did I hear you say
dangerous hypocrite? This man here will not serve Liberia well. Today, as we speak, Dillon, who was talking blah 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 blah. What did you hear about him? Abbottier, Senator Abbottier, he said, hey, man, he almost a political Pharisee. He's a hypocrite. In the day, he telling me I'm corrupt. In the night, he crawling on his belly, pathetically begging me for him out. Have you heard Dillon to issue any rebuttal to that statement? No. In the law, that statement qualifies as what? Adaptive admission. When somebody says something about you in the public and that thing is not true, the duty is upon you to denounce, to refute the allegation. The law says if you do not refute that allegation is presumed and assumed to be true. So we call Senator Che accusation against Dillon to be true. When Musa Belete, out of anger, announced on OKFN and say that Dillon man here who say I saw to Paul, he will never say that about me because I sponsor his campaign. They did not ever announce to the Liberian people that Musa Belede took some of his corrupt money to sponsor his campaign. No. He is not an earnest person. And so all the adjectives ascribed to him, they are befitting of him.
Anthony Jackson, last evening I listened to you on Freedom FM and you were so sarcastic, if I would say, for the better choice of words, against Senator Dillon. And your political leader, Nyobli Kanga Lawrence. I'm wondering, and more Liberians are wondering as well, why all of those bitterness between you and Senator Dillon? Is it something personal or what?
No, brother. You see, that's sarcasm. Sarcasm is not a real word. I passionately criticize him. You know, because brother, let be concerned about our country future.
You were particular
You know,
about his education and other personal things. So, you know.
yeah, I talk about educational credential because what I've tried to point out to our people is the dishonesty.
Okay.
Delo is a very cunning guy.
You claiming that he's
He complains
dishonest,
about
but
everything.
he has won the admiration of many Liberians, and he was re-elected, as a matter of fact.
To them, the cunning attitude of this brother. You see, this brother here, he does not have a qualifying academic credential. When in 2009, he was pretending to be a lawyer. When I called him up, I said, "But this man here is a male high school dropout." Even his best friend called me and said, "Are you sure?" I'm not fighting Dylan. I am fighting for the future of my children. I am fighting for the future of your children. Do you know what will happen for Liberia to leave the frying pan and go to the firehouse? Do you know what will happen or what it will mean for Liberia to leave from catastrophe to disaster? These guys who are hanging around, these clowns, these disco flunkies who are pretending to be something, when they take leadership in our country, what we see will be worse, brother, because the guys are more.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Antonio, Miss Royalty Baby, and I want everyone in Liberia to know that I love listening.
105.1 FM.
Today is Monday. Today is Monday, February 6th, March 6th, sorry, 2023. What a pleasant way to welcome you to the midday edition of ABC Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. We are the official voice of Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation. We're beaming live and direct from the corner of Brown Buchanan Streets, downtown Monrovia. And so all of you who are coming on, we want to say a pleasant good afternoon from Monrovia and welcome to the Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. My name is Theo Williams, and of course my co-pilot Anthony Jiffan is here, and together we will be bringing you lots of interesting developments about Liberia, Africa, and the rest of the world between 9 to 6. And so from just wherever you are monitoring us, welcome. The team is set, rough, and ready to drive you between 9 to 6. Welcome to the Hard Talk. Well, let me tell you what's trending on the show today, folks. Daniel Sano, Deputy Secretary for Press and Public Affairs of the Opposition Labour Party, will join us on the first segment of the show as we discuss training issues as well as the essence of the reconciliation jamboree held in Grand Bassa County recently by his political leader, Madam Yomli Kanga Lawrence. That will take us up until 5. At 5 we'll take a break. following the break. Following the break at 5 o'clock, we play host to Mr. Joseph Sako, Executive Director of the Liberia Medical Mission, and other members of his team, as we talk about the mission's visit to Liberia, folks. A group of experts here in the country rendering free medical services to Liberians. We'll be finding out why they are here. We'll be finding out the importance of their mission to Liberia. And so that's the lineup for you. Invite a friend to just join us as we drive you between 9 to 6 with all of those interesting developments of the day. Having said that, let me cross over to my professional colleague, Anthony Jiffan, who is smartly dressed up this afternoon. It's a pleasure. Good to have you on. And welcome, Anthony. How are you today?
Oh, it's great too. It's very, very great to be here this afternoon on the, should we say, maiden edition? Yes.
Yeah, this is the maiden edition of the Hard Talk.
The Hard Talk.
Yeah, ABC Hard Talk.
Since our transition from Sniper Hill to Buchanan Street, in Monrovia. Well, it's a wonderful thing.
I like the way
here.
you call it Buchanan Street.
Yes.
It reminds me of a journalist from the BBC who was here covering the civil conflict in our country.
Okay.
Yes.
And,
there's always say Buchanan.
And many
The capital of Grand-Bassa.
Yes, that's how they call it.
Yeah,
so
Buchanan.
we try to follow because
Yeah.
they are the should I say the owners of the English grammar or the English language that we boast of today. Yeah. So today few things, but first let's look at our motivation or wise words. Our wise words for today. It says when you have a dream, you have got to grab it and never let it go. When you have a dream, you have got to grab it and never let it go. And so with that we like to,
When you have a dream, never let it go.
yes, you got to grab it.
What does that mean?
You have to pick it up. You have to work with it. Well, when you were a kid, Theo, I believe you had a dream of becoming a journalist, and so because of that dream, because you pursue that dream, being a journalist, you went for it. Today, here you are.
I think we have to take a pause, Anthony.
we have to certainly
we're
do so.
experiencing some terrible feedback. I don't know where it's coming from.
Right.
Perhaps the technical guys will just come in here to do some adjustments, and then we will come back later on. All right, welcome back to Hard Talk on ABC Radio 105.1. I think it's much better now, Anthony.
Yes, I think we okay a little bit.
Yeah, you were in flight before the adjustment.
And so I was saying the wise word says when you have a dream, you've got to grab it, never let it go. And so maybe becoming a journalist today started when you were a kid.
Of course.
Many of us used to love to look into the radio. We want to see who are those talking, where they're talking from. Sometimes we want to go behind the television, we want to enter into it. And today, here we are. And we never work with our maybe having earpiece and other things in our ears. Today, here we are. We are journalists because we go for what we dream of becoming, the dream we had. I mean, I feel like I'm going to sit on a TV one day. And so, since you want to sit on a TV one day, what you have to do is to do what you can that will take you to a TV one day. And you did it. Here you are today. You are a journalist.
Of course. It's a long story.
Did you let your dream go? No, you didn't.
Yes. We'll find some day to talk about that. It's a long story how it all started.
Right.
But time is of essence in broadcasting, so we have our guest already somewhere in the corridor here at ABC Radio. And so the audience out there, please usher the guest in. And as we begin the show today. But I tell you what, the Disaster Management Agency on the watchful eyes of Henry Williams is a complete disaster. Trust me.
Disaster Management Agency
under the watchful eyes of Henry Williams
has become a complete disaster.
Is a disaster in itself. Despite all of the donor funding.
So instead of managing disaster,
that will be another discussion for another day. I just thought to say that in passing.
Okay.
And so we'll find some time to talk about that. But let's welcome our guest. He's already here in studio. Never mind for the little bit of delay. It was due to some technical problem, Daniel. It's a pleasure. Good to have you on. By the way, how are you today?
Well, I'm doing good.
Yeah. Yes, I think we go.
Come again, Daniel.
I'm doing good. Nah, I'm happy to be here. I see the station just relocated and you're trying to do some beautiful stuff. I like the environment. It's been a while since I appeared on ABC Radio.
Yeah.
I make up all the appearance on the morning show when you were on Snapper Hill.
Yeah.
This is my debut appearance since you moved to Buchanan Street. And let me first of all say a pleasant good afternoon to our supporters, partisans of the Liberty Party. During your intro, you indicated that I'm Deputy Secretary. No, I'm the Vice Chair for Press and Public Affairs of the Liberty Party.
Okay.
Oh wow!
Okay. That means you've been elevated.
Yeah.
Sure. At the 2021 Manga Convention, I was elected as the Vice Chair for Press and Public Affairs. Making me the official spokesperson of the party. So yes, you have the official spokesperson of the Liberty Party in the studio. I look forward to being quizzed by the both of you. I know it's going to be a very smooth interview. So thank you for the invite.
Great, Daniel. And let's begin like this. Recently, your political leader, Madam Yomli Kanga Lawrence, staged a reconciliation jamboree in Grand Bassa County, specifically the fairground, or the Doris Williams Sports page in the county. Let's know from you, what was the significance of that gathering or that event in the county? What did you achieve in the end?
Well, the bottom line of the Unity Jam, which was held over the weekend in Bassa, was just simple. You know, during election period, the youth of the country, and of course Liberia is no exception, with a country with a very youthful population, the youth are frequently the segment of the population that are the disposal of politicians to be used to stage violence.
Okay.
And Liberia being no exception, and given the complexities of problems that is confronting the youthful population of the country, Senator Lawrence, in her capacity as a political leader of the Liberty Party and Senator of Grand Bassa, thought it very necessary to organize a peace and unity jam to bring together first all of the leaders of the counties. So what you witnessed on the stage was the appearance of the county superintendent, who is a sedition. All right. You witnessed the appearance of other permanent figures in the county, members of the legislatures, who are not from the Liberty Party necessarily, but they are leaders of Grand Bassa. They all took the stage, right, from the beginning of the concert or the jamboree to send a message out to the youthful population that as we move into the electionary period, we can voice out our intentions. We can make our argument, vote of being antagonistic, vote of insulting leaders of the county, vote of violence. So basically, it was just a kind of campaign, a non-violent campaign, meant to sensitize the country youthful population as we move into the electionary period. Uh, from all indication, it was very successful. The feedback was very good. Now, the targeted population or the attendance at the jam was from various high schools across Grand Bassa County.
Okay.
Right. So the proceeds from the jam was not necessarily transferred to the organizers. It's going to be used to support the projects of the various student council government from the various schools that were invited. So, for example, if you are from WPA Bromsky and your school, because they had a hand band the ticket, like, right? So they sell it to the various schools. If your school purchase more, the amount your school purchase is the same proportion you're going to get to your student council government for the support of a project. So it's just meant to bring together young people in the county, meant to bring the leaders together so that they could send a message to the people that regardless of our political differences, whether we support the same party or not, we can say so, we can do so without being violent, without being insultive, without being just to be just a non-violent campaign to the county. Because I think it is important that as we engage the electionary period, right, in the next 7, 8, 9 months, it is important that other leaders from various counties emulate that example. Because if we can go into the electoral process peacefully, bring our ideas on the table, because I believe that democracy is a competition of ideas. Bring our ideas on the table.
Yeah.
How your party can govern this country better than what the CDC government has done in the last 5 to 6 years. I think we can do so vote of being abusive, vote of being violent. So that's the kind of campaign that we want to see as we engage the election period, and we're not just saying it by means of the microphone. We are taking action to sensitize the youthful population. Like I said, it is a youthful population that politicians frequently use to stage violent activities in the electionary period. Okay?
So Daniel, many a times politicians and other people will come together in the name of bringing people together for unity. Those people will come out because they support your quest. But I'd like to know, from the January, did you achieve your targeted goal for which it was organized?
Sure. I do believe that the objective of the Jamboree was achieved to a very great extent. Okay, that you have all the leaders of the county, from the superintendent to the lowest man in the local government, right, coming together on the same stage to say we have political differences within the Lawrence, but we can do so peacefully, right? You have senatorial aspirant like Madeline Harris. She contested against Senator Lawrence in the 2020 elections, right?
Okay.
She was on the stage also, right? You have people who are not part of the Liberty Party. Okay, they were on that stage sending the message out to the young people that in spite of our political differences, we do not have to be violent in marketing our candidate of our choice. We can do so peacefully, because when violence occurred, who become the victim? It is the very people that you want to rule, that you want to lead. Okay, so this is something that I think should be adopted by our friends who are in the ruling government. Because if you want the population to trust your leadership ability, if you are requesting the population to renew your mandate, I think there has to be some assurances, about the safety of the citizen of the country. But when you have threats of violence from people within the ruling elite, when you have everyday secret killings, summary disappearances and everything, then you start to instill fear in the civilian population. Then it became people, we on the other side of the political divide will begin to question your ability to govern over a peaceful country, which I think we're going to go into in the next phase of the conversation, because I do believe that the public safety have become very elusive under the we are government. Okay, for the last 6 years, I mean, the level of summary disappearances, secret killings, mysterious deaths have become very unprecedented.
Even in the Western world, those things
Well,
happen.
we're not talking about Western world. We're talking about okay. In the Western world, there are cases that are very complex, but have been brought to conclusion. You follow in the state of California, right? Alex Mudo, how he killed his wife and his son, regardless of how complex. He tried to make the investigation with the help of technology, right? The investigators, in the space of 1 year and a half, in the space of a year, today he's been convicted. Why? Because they ensure criminal investigation is a continuing process. But when you have an LMP that cannot retrieve a stolen cell phone and presiding over the investigation of mysterious deaths, then we are concerned.
Okay.
We are concerned about that.
Okay,
so yes, so before you go to the next stage, I mean, it's just important that political leaders begin to take the step to emulate the good example of Senator Lawrence. I think it will help the country because we want to.
You think there is something to emulate?
Yes, it's a good example to emulate. We want to consolidate the gains that have been made. This country, don't forget we were the same people who make checkpoints along the road and say, you white traps, step aside. We rape up people's intestines and make roadblocks in this country. Don't forget. It hasn't been too long. So we are not a people who are peace-loving. We are people who can be very violent and brutal. The 14 years of the civil conflict taught us that. So we have to be very careful. When you have the opportunity to govern, you need to govern in a way that everybody can feel satisfied with you. Okay? If we cannot adopt a non-violent approach to this election as she started to do, if one group of people feel that they have monopoly over violence and intimidate other people, when you push the man to a point where he back touches the wall, he's going to bounce back at you.
Before I go to my next question, Daniel, let me ask you whether there are plans to go to other counties besides Grand Bassa County.
Well,
are there plans by your political leader to perhaps visit other counties and preach the same message?
It is a pilot project.
All right.
It is a pilot project that has been very successful in Grand Bassa County. If other leaders from the legislature, the other leaders from various political parties deem it necessary to work with her to use these iconic superstars in the country to send the message of peace, I think that's the way we can use our talented musician, not for political reasons, not to be political song on our behalf, but to bring these young people together and say, look, you can have your side. The men are Liberty Party men, the men are sedition. Let's be together. We are all Liberians.
Okay, great.
That's what I believe.
So let's talk about
whether it's a pilot project, maybe we want to replicate what happened in Basso in Mossorado County. Senator Delo is from the Liberty Party. It's a very good initiative. I would encourage you to do similar thing. I would encourage you to also do similar thing in Mossorado County, which is considered the melting point of our body politics.
Great. Let's talk about opposition unity as we approach the election. We are a couple of months away from the elections. Dana, you and I know that. Let's know from you, what's the position of your political leader in terms of bringing the opposition together? I mean, to form a formidable force that will unseat President Weah.
Well, it is always a good thing when we come to the microphone and then we are quiz about opposition unity. I've said to many of your colleagues in the media that the opposition is united.
Okay.
We are united on one front.
United?
We are united on one front. And I want you to hear me out on this.
Go ahead.
What is that front that we are united on? That front is, come rain or shine, we are going to make Mr. Weah a one-term president. Whether it happens in the first round or the second round of the election, but it's going to happen. Okay? If you're supposed to die on January 1st and you die February 28th, you still die.
And so that
on that point, before you go there, so on that point, I do believe that we are united by the grace of God and the help of the Liberian people that have become the victims of the broken promises.
How are you united, Daniel?
I'm coming
now.
How are
you
I'm
united?
coming. As I said to you, I say we have a common melting point, and that melting point is to make Mr. Weah a one-term president.
Even in the midst of the fight among
yourselves. There's no fight. There's no fight. And sometimes we try to mistake in politics, even in the church, like I said it already. Even in the church.
The Liberty Party is divided.
I'm coming to you.
You know that.
Let's go step by step. Right? Even in the church, there are issues. We all pray as Christians to go to heaven. There were issues between Jesus Christ and Lucifer, between God and Lucifer, right? And he was thrown down. The issue had not been resolved yet.
And so you are aware.
So I'm saying to you,
you are aware that Jesus Christ is working one side,
So-
Lucifer is on the other side.
but so we all Christians will follow.
They don't have the same kingdom.
I'm coming. We all Christians will follow behind Jesus Christ, right? So what I'm saying to you is that the conflict or the petty disagreement you see in the opposition should not distract you. If you ask the member of the ANC and say, what is your common goal?
You call that petty? It has lasted for
coming.
years now.
No, I'm coming to
You
you.
want to call that petty?
I'm coming. If you ask the ANC man and say, what is your common goal? It's to make sure that Mr. Weah is a wanted president. And then again, before you go to the next question, let me just say this to you. I think we frequently make mistakes in the country to say that in 20, I hear people talking about, oh, Mr. Weah is going to win the election because opposition is divided. It's not true. It is not true. We have a situation in 2017, the Ghana Declaration. I sure all of you were around when the main opposition parties in the opposition assembled in Ghana to sign the Ghana Declaration. The Ghana Declaration did not work. Before we could reach in Morovia, from East Africa were carrying story that Bromsky and Euro were fighting. Joe Weah, they didn't trust the people. They said they posted him no book, so they were not going to support him, right? What did he do? He pulled out of the Ghana Declaration, funded his own coalition for democratic change. So in 2017, you had about 7 main opposition candidates contesting, right? Against the Unity Party. Did they stop the opposition from winning?
You compare.
I'm coming.
No. Do you want to compare the Unity Party scenario to a CDC?
Let me just make my.
A George Weah that is going for second term. You want to compare that with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that was going out and leaving Joseph Boakai, who many of you even believe that she did not support.
My dear brother Anthony, let me just conclude my analogy, right? 7 main opposition candidates contested, right? You know them. I don't want to name them.
Go ahead.
They contested. Did it stop George Weah from winning? It didn't stop him. I'm saying to you, we find ourselves in the same situation here. This time around, you're not going to have 21 candidates contesting. You're not going to have 7 candidates from the opposition contesting. You have at most 2 or 3 candidates contesting. So what you are witnessing now is that the political landscape has been significantly narrowed down to a point where the voters are being confronted with minimum choices. Okay? So let's say, for example, bulk of the Liberian people who have been neglected, the civil servant that Mr. Weah said he didn't know that they were making $40 for 6 years. Only now he know he want to increase their pay. All the thousands of civil servants that are victims of the Weah harmonization policy, they have an option. If you want to remove Weah, you vote Ambassador Boakai or you vote Mr. Cummings.
So Daniel, before you continue, do you know that Liberians who believe, sometimes they will believe in opposition, now are believing that because of power grief, you are divided, and so they don't want to trust you anymore.
Your analogy is wrong, because even within the ruling party, what do you witness? I listen to all of the radio stations in the country this morning.
And so the ruling party is going that way,
Anthony,
and you think you want to change that scenario.
Anthony,
still going in the same direction.
Anthony, I'm not making the comparison that you're making. What I'm saying to you is a political arrangement in a country such as ours. The way you want it to work will not work that way. So this is so much so that even the ruling party, the ruling coalition for democratic, what do you see there? You see fragmentation. This fragmentation may influence by various factors. I have said to my friends from the ANC, I'm from the Liberty Party, why do you think that I'm very outspoken about electing Boakai? Because I know that if my party got on the ballot, it will be a division within the opposition. So we said we're not going to waste our time on that. But if somebody who is in the opposition say that they rebel contest, what am I going to do? We will deprive them? We can't do so. We respect Mr. Cummings' right to contest. The Liberian people will reward him.
And you think that is unity, right?
It is his right. It is his right. What blame Mr. Cummings and Mr. Boakai together is that they both are vying to make Mr. Weah a wanted president. And I'm very confident. Maybe the day you invite my friend from the ANC, you can ask him the question. I'm very confident, optimistic, that Mr. Cummings is going to support Mr. Boakai in the second round of the election. That is why we have encouraged all our friends to tune down the rhetorics.
Are you saying that as maybe can we take that as an official statement from an opposition?
But
politician?
you're not talking to just anybody in the Liberty Party.
Okay.
That's why you invited me. I'm the spokesperson of the Liberty Party.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm saying to you that we're convicted. All of the internal assessment we've done within our own party points to the fact that Liberian people will not elect Mr. Bouaka as a president. Personally, I'm convinced that Ambassador Joseph Yima Bouaka is the only politician currently alive in Liberia that can defeat George Weah. I'm not going to waste my time behind anybody who come here and think because you have the deepest pocket and the biggest checkbook so you can win the election. We're not going to, endanger the fate of the Liberian people.
There were speculations that
we have to be, we have to be very, very pointed. We have to be very resolute in terms of projecting a political alternative to the country. You can't come to the Liberian people that will try the other option, you lose, and then you dwindle in poverty and abject neglect for the next 6 years. These are irreparable damage that have been done to the country. Do you know what it will cost the next government to repair all of the mess that Mr. Weah has created? It's going to cost the country a great deal of time.
Where is your Liberty
energy
Party
and resources? Liberty Party is well alive and significant as well. That's why I'm here.
Too fashion.
Well, it's, I told you, right? We got election 8 months from now, right? Today is March 6th. What? Just hoping that 2023 will come.
You have divided partisans.
It's not.
One group support Musa Belete,
it's not.
and the other group support Young Kaka Lawrence, your political leader.
Is Musa Belete vying for the presidency of the country?
He has influence, though.
Wait,
you can rule that out.
I didn't come to discuss Musa Belete. And I think we can save this thing of Musa Belete for another day.
But we're talking about the Liberty Party.
I'm saying to you that Liberty Party, led by its political leader, is well and kicking.
Who is the national chair?
Well, Musa is the chairman of the party. Musa is the chairman of the party. What I would like you on that, Musa is the chairman
party. Your political leader has?
The party she presides over as political leader. Musa chairs the party.
There were sometimes that your political leader, other executive members, I think including you, were suspended. Are you aware?
Well, but Musa does not have the authority, and that's what I told him.
But you are aware that
I'm coming.
You people were suspended.
I'm coming. Suspended by who?
Musa Belete.
But Musa does not have the authority, and that's a mistake we're frequently making in the press, right? To say that because you chairman of a party, you can kind and say, "Oh, they are not suspended because I don't let what he say on the radio."
We did not make mistakes.
That's a joke.
We were not the one that wrote the letters.
No, I'm coming. Not anything you see in the press makes sense. Yeah, sometimes people are in the habit of writing just anything, just publishing it on Facebook, right? The party as an institution. How can one man will go in the morning and say, "I suspend the political leader"? Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. So the party has its own modus operandi, which we are here to explain if you give a time, but I'm not too sure that's why we came to talk issues, election and politics, and the way forward the opposition.
Yeah.
And I'm very focused on that. Liberty Party crisis has lingered for a little over a year now. It's a crisis that has been financed and sustained by politics. People have interest in getting Liberty Party on the side.
Are you resolving it anytime soon?
Those people who the fact that we have resolved to cease the rhetorics, to say it is our political party issue, we can resolve it internally with the litigation process ongoing. Let disease from discussing anything on the media. We come to a point of realization that we're hurting the party. So what Musa Belete likes it or not, whether he's supposed to come is he cannot move the base of the party. The base of the party is led by the party political leader.
Even supporters of all of the parties, talking about Liberty Party, Unity Party, the ANC, every time you check social media, they are at each other's throat. Daniel,
I've said to you, we can't control everything that is being posted, that will be posted on social media. We can't control that one there.
But then where's the unity you're talking about?
But you don't want to censor people's opinion. Theo, when you talk about opposition unity, I'm the spokesperson of the Liberty Party.
I thought you work in one accord.
I'm coming now. Working in one accord with party executive committee will not mean that nobody who subscribes to the ideology of the Liberty Party will post what they want to post on Facebook. This will mean to me that officials of this party, because when the spokesperson of the party comes up and says something, it goes with weight, right? That we should desist from antagonizing each other on the radio. And we share that to ourselves, that it's not helping. The person who benefit if we keep attacking each other is the government. The Liberian people get more disappointed in you. Okay, so we have to reinvent this wheel in a way that we say, I'm supporting Ambassador Bouaka. If you're supporting Mr. Cummings, you don't have to attack Bouaka. Okay? You don't have to do so. Attacking Bouaka does not add any value to Cummings.
I still don't see unity. But anyway, let me ask you this.
It is left.
Let me ask you.
I don't know what kind of lens you're using to see unity. But
let me ask you. Let me ask you, Daniel. There was this speculation that your political leader, Madam Emily Kanga Lawrence, will maybe go second to Joe Bwaka as vice president on a ticket. How true is that?
I have consistently said
This has been in the public for some time, though.
I cannot speak to the truism of that speculation which you put into me, right? I cannot speak to it. But what I can assure you is that the Liberty Party that we are part of remain as significant in the process of determining the next leadership of this country, right? There are people who thought that putting Liberty Party against each other would have diminished our political standing. Today, that wishful thinking have been defeated. Because even as they were throwing money across in the party to buy people loyalty over to them, it still didn't diminish the political standing of the political.
Who threw money?
Well, I mean, I'm not here to name people, but you know who are those.
But you saying it though.
But you know, I can say it.
I don't know.
When you start to name people, now it become personal, right? I don't want to be personal. We're having a standard conversation because when couples say, oh, they are antagonizing people. But if you key in the party, you say you want to get Liberty Party, you start showing money, giving people pick up and this and that to get the people on your side, and in the end, it didn't prove well for you.
That means you're referring to most ability.
Well, whoever they are, but they know themselves. They know where they are right now. That's why they have been condemned in shame and dishonor, because the action exposed the true motive. It didn't, everything they didn't diminish the political relevance of the political leader in the Liberty Party. That's why you see much has been done to move the base of the party, right? Any smart politician will say there's always an opportunity in every crisis. When we were basically trying to tear Senator Dillon, Senator Lawrence, Klatume, Daniel Sando, they were spending money on all the media entities, right? Making disparaging commentaries and everything against us. We were basically going back to the base of the party to put it together. Today, it's Senator Lawrence appears, partisans will move in their droves to attend the 504. That's how you know the leader of the party. We're not talking about somebody who in the plane every day flying and coming back to the country, nobody know where you are and this and that. So yes, Liberty Party will welcome any such pronouncement. If it is made by Ambassador Bwaka, it will be highly welcoming. We founded the party since 2003. We contested 3 successive elections. Unfortunately, we didn't win. We are supporting Ambassador Bwaka at this point. If he sees a fit to name our political leader as his running mate, we wholeheartedly welcome and add everything we can to the campaign to ensure that this country has a leadership that will answer the long-standing historical problem that we've always faced here. I have said repeatedly that the country problem begins with leadership. The lack of leadership has grossly and negatively affected the growth of this country. We need a leader who is selfless, and I see that quality in Ambassador Bwaka. Somebody who has an impeccable and enviable public service record. I mean, you found somebody else besides Ambassador Bwaka. In 2017, people said that trial that trial has become a disaster. It has become a disaster.
I don't understand why will a party, a chairman, and the political leader not come face to face. I mean,
is that the reason?
I don't get it.
Is that the reason why Joe we are stealing the Labyrinth money?
I mean, you should be setting examples.
Is that the reason why Joe
you should be setting precedents?
Is that the reason why Joe we are stealing
No,
Labyrinth
that's
money?
not the issue. That is not the issue, Daniel.
Is it that
is not the issue.
we are stealing Labyrinth money?
But no, he asked me. He said
one who comes with equity must come with clean hands. I don't get it when your party chairman and the political leader, your boss, don't come face to face. They don't see eye to eye. How do you reconcile that?
Are you their neighbors? Are you their neighbors to say they can see face to face?
Okay, you're in the party. When was the last time they came close?
Well, Senator Lawrence and Mr. Billy, they talk.
When was the last time?
Well, they talk. I can't tell you the last time they talk, but I know that they exchanged messages. I know that he calls her to check on her. She too calls him to check on him.
With two different party headquarters.
Well, I mean, you have to point out
every
letter from the office of the political leader will carry 19th Street as a party office. I said to you that we're running our party.
What's about the one?
The chairman has a scope by which he can operate. The day he was set up bound, he gonna be reminded that you can do.
Did your political leader go to 19th Street office? Did she have an office in that 19th Street headquarters?
Well, she has an office there.
Really?
Are you sure about that?
Of course, but
We will ask Belity about that.
when the office were acquired, Senator Lawrence became political leader when the party was at Caddy Junction. The office were acquired when she took the party to the
All
convention,
political party have 2 offices.
right? When she took the party to the convention
Two
in Banga,
Mm-hmm.
2021, we came back. The Philip Sunday requested a building at Caddy Junction, and then we moved to the 19th Street facility. She has an office there, except now that Mr. Billy has said that the party is his personal property and he can donate it to Mr. Cummings.
When was the last time she visited that 19th Street headquarters?
I'm coming. It's not about you asked whether she had an office there.
Mm-hmm.
I've said to you, when we moved over there, the political leader office was there. It was well furnished.
Okay.
After the renovation work.
Was there?
But I'm saying to you, until Mr. Billy entered into this unholy marriage with Mr. Cummings, which I don't want to talk about, and you keep bringing me back to it, because it wouldn't help. I'm here to say why libraries like this and how can we transform this country moving to the electoral process. Look, the Rick Monroe in Liberty Party is not a reason why the millions of young people in the country don't have jobs.
No, but that is something to talk about as well. We can rule that out.
You have a scarce opportunity.
No, we can rule that
The
out.
opportunity you have here, you have limited time. You, in the broadcast business, time is not time. Time should be your essence.
No, forget about the time.
Right?
We
so
have the
when
time
we come to
here.
the radio, you say you won't be going back and forth. I have spent over 5 minutes talking about issues in Liberty Party. I'm saying to you, as your guest, that the issues in Liberty Party are not the reason why the country is like this.
Okay.
And somebody listening to me will agree with me that we have to tell the Liberian people why we should not make a mistake we made in 2017.
Why the country is like this?
Of course,
In your words.
the country like that because of incompetence. Because of incompetence. Nothing more can better define the problem the reason why the country like that other than incompetence. Because we all went to the election, we campaign. They said we are got the most vote. He's president. Why is the country like this? Because he doesn't know what he's doing.
What has he done wrong, Danny?
He's done everything wrong. From the constitution of his government, to the administration of the state, to the implementation of the application of the rule of law, governance, foreign policy, they go wrong on every front. For which we should be worried. Because you know where Liberia was when President Sadi became president in 2006. Liberia was a pariah state. Do you know how the negative implication of the United States government imposing sanction on officials of a government?
And so if you compare the Weah administration to the Salif administration, even under the Salif administration, there were people sanctioned. Are you aware?
I'm not here to compare. Name one person who was sanctioned under the Salif administration. That's a mistake we frequently make. That because it happened Salif time.
No.
But
no,
even
you comparing them.
Nobody was sanctioned. Nobody was sanctioned during editing time.
Okay.
You the journalist.
No, go ahead.
Right? Because when you speak like that, somebody listening will say, "Oh, so it happened editing time too." But I challenge you.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody was sanctioned.
Nobody was sanctioned.
Global Witness indicted Eddie Starter, Maurice Etuma, Vani Shemo, right?
Mm-hmm.
For things they did to affect the passage of illegal concession. What did the United Party government do? Vani Shemo was party chairman. He was hanged off. Eddie Starter was speaker. He was hanged off and dragged to court. In the case of Mr. Weah, what has happened? The United States government, they didn't just indict, but they sanctioned 3 key officials of the government. What did George Weah do? He honorably allowed McGill, Cephas, and Bill Tiawe to resign. Today, they are still running the government in the backstage. So nobody's stupid here. If your government is committed to fighting corruption, you will not be pampering people who have stolen money from the country. The U.S. government clearly said they have the evidence. What has Liberia done to say reach out to the people and say, let's give her the evidence and prosecute? Joe, we have promised us that people are going to be investigated and prosecuted. It's how many months now? It's almost a year. What happened next? So the government got no taste to fight corruption. The appetite for stealing is so insatiable.
You claimed
Right?
President Weah is incompetent. How did you manage to win 14 of the 15 counties?
But democracy is not about competence.
Why would somebody want to vote for someone who is incompetent?
Democracy on our side of the war is not about competence. Democracy on our side of the war is not about competence. Because elections here is not about ideas. We want to come here to remind the voters, not to mock at them. Remind the voters are electing the man who came from the football field with little or no experience in governance. Was a terrible mistake. Was a terrible mistake. We should not allow everywhere in the world government going for re-election or second term. We hinge the re-election bid on the successes of the first term. Why can Mr. We are boast of? If that building substandard community roads are get destroyed in 6 months.
Road connectivity.
Which part of the country?
Across Liberia.
You name it. You name it.
The Bong to Lofa Road.
When last you went Lofa?
I was there. I was in Bong County quite recently, and I saw
There's no road in Lofa.
The work being done.
There's no road
from
in
Bong
Lofa.
County to Lofa.
Don't deceive.
That road is being paved. Daniel, I was there. I saw it.
The public.
I'm telling you, I was there.
That road has not entered Lofa County yet.
But the work is ongoing.
I'm saying to you, if
the fact of the matter is the work is ongoing.
Not the fact of the matter.
I was there. I saw it.
Not the fact of the matter. If groundbreaking ceremony,
I'm not trying to blow horn for the government, right?
No,
I'm just telling you what I saw as a journalist.
You say your own. Let me say my own, right?
I was there.
You say
I did an assessment. I saw it.
My dear brother, you say yours. Let me say mine. If you had groundbreaking ceremony for a road in 2017, funding was already before the city government had any groundbreaking ceremony. They had done feasibility study. They're not a job who would go do groundbreaking before going for money. The city administration would do feasibility study, right? The Banga to Menikoma Road feasibility study was done. Funding was identified by the World Bank, provided by the World Bank, right? Groundbreaking ceremony was conducted. Interestingly so, Mr. Weah, a senator of Most County, was invited. He became president in 2018. Almost 6 years now. That road is not in Lofa, right? And you pave 1 kilometer of road, you say, oh, they're paving the road and this and that. You distance from Banga to Vonjama. So we shouldn't play lip service to the danger that we are re-election will bring to this country. All of the major projects.
The RI road is one of the major projects.
Where's the RI
major
road
project?
It's a disaster.
It's ongoing.
Where? It was better you didn't do it. It's a disaster. You listen to you have your journalists covering the legislature. You listen to the Minister of Public Works. She was very emphatic to have said that the company to which the contract was awarded lacked the technical capacity. So what do you say about that? What do you say about that? So these are things that we should tell the people.
So Daniel, before we go to the lines, I think President George, we are on his administration is working on. Maybe you have not seen any of the roads, but the Ganta to Saklepi road is one.
Of course.
Well,
you said none.
I didn't say none. I know that Mr. We are paid the road from supermarket to patient shop. And after
Ganta to Sanikwele is another road.
Please hold on. Those projects you're talking about, I'm even surprised that in the 6th year of the administration, they have not completed projects that they inherited from the United Party government. Funding were already provided for the project. We should be asking the government, why by this time the Banga to Menikoma road has not been completed? What happened to the money? Did you divert it?
So Daniel, now Daniel, you should be telling us that there are projects under construction. There are roads under construction. But if you say nothing, and you now talk about
don't choose my choice of
initiated
by
former government.
Don't choose my choice of words.
You and I wait today.
I didn't say
government
nothing.
Is continuity.
I didn't say nothing. Don't choose my choice of words. I didn't say nothing.
Everything is wrong.
I asked you. I said, what do you see? You said road connectivity. I said, where?
Everything is wrong.
No, I didn't say everything is wrong. Sometimes we have to listen more than talking.
Daniel,
I didn't say everything is wrong. I know everything is not wrong. Mr. Weah never used to own a private jet. He now owns a private jet. Everything's not wrong.
Okay.
Mr. Weah was living in a chicken hut at rehab.
What do you call
today?
Chicken hut?
He lives.
Let's be
in multi-million-dollar complex.
Right? Let's forget about that and be real.
We know that. So I didn't say nothing has been done.
Let's be real here.
Of course, something has been done. Mr. Mageo, who could not afford to pay his rent in a 2-bedroom apartment, today is one of the richest men in this country.
Let's forget about all of that.
Why would we forget about it?
No, I mean, that's not the cause of the discussion.
So the question I'm asking
let's avoid attacking personalities, but rather face the issues.
I'm not attacking personality.
That's what you're doing, Daniel.
If you do a lifestyle
audit,
if you do a lifestyle audit of somebody who could not afford to buy a bicycle a few years ago, the person now owns a limousine.
What can the opposition boast of?
Well, the opposition can boast of being prepared. The opposition can boast of being prepared to better govern this country than what Mr. Weah has done. The opposition can boast of a candidate who is vying for the presidency, who has a track record that beats that of Mr. Weah. Ambassador Barker served as vice president for 12 years. No dent of corruption or his integrity. I guess if you were corrupt, the Weah government would have dragged him to court. Okay? Even though they're not interested in fighting corruption, but for political reasons, they would have done so. But because there's no dent on his integrity, he has an enviable record in public service. He can better do the job that Mr. Weah has failed to do. I have said repeatedly that Mr. Weah is more interested in the pleasantry of the presidency than to execute the actual job of the presidency. No serious president in a country that is so challenged in every sector will leave your country and spend over 2 months outside on safari. You don't do that.
We're going to go to the phone lines, but before we do that, let's ask you this. What is the opposition Liberty Party position on what happened in our country with former Chief Justice Gloria Musso-Scott?
Well, the position of the party have been smartly articulated by its political leader. Following the incident, it happened on a Monday night. On Tuesday morning, she was at the 16th Street residence of Councillor Scout. She has identified with the family repeatedly. She has also mobilized partisans, particularly the women, to join ranks with the other women under the banner Women of Liberia. And they were also part of the group of women that took the petition to the legislature. And she has been very... so the incident occurred on Monday night. On Tuesday morning, she was there. She went to session the following day, brought it to the attention of plenary. I think the journalist who was in the session can admit that she advocated and ensured that it was included on the agenda. It was discussed. It was following that deliberation that the police, RG, Mr. Patrick Sulu, and the acting justice minister were invited the following Thursday, right? So yes, she has expressed dismay over the action of anybody to have gruesomely murdered and young and promising Liberian citizen. She has also called on the Liberian authority, particularly the government, the LMP, to desist from politicizing the incident, because from the local teams, we have reason to believe that the LMP and the ruling establishment intends to politicize the situation. So she said that clearly. This morning again, she was also at the LMP headquarters. Unfortunately, she had to go back to the 16th Street residence of Justice Scout to Beaufort, because a team of investigators had just gone to the Broadway residence of the former Chief Justice. So yes, the party empathizes with the bereaved family. We are standing by them. We do not want to be too outspoken about it before it appears that we're trying to politicize it, because in this country, everything is politics. So, we have to respect the privacy of the family. We also have to respect the privacy of the victims, right? There are 2 victims here. One died, another one is in the hospital trying to recuperate from the wounds sustained in the battle with the criminal. So all of the conspiracy theories have been contrived and pushed out there by the people from the ruling establishment, asking questions that need not to be asked at this point. I think it is wrong. Now, the political, they are also concerned about these things. Okay, so yeah, so far so good. That's how much we are involved with the situation.
Okay, with the time 6 minutes after 5 o'clock, you're listening to Hard Talk. It's on ABC Radio 105.1. Wherever you are, you can join us now on our numbers 0777 105 100 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 to form part of the conversation. Join us now on this line. If you are out of the country, you are anywhere else, you can follow us on ABC Radio Official. What you have to do is to download Radio King app through App Store or Google Play Store, and you will form part of the conversation. Also follow us online, ABC Radio Official on Facebook and YouTube. 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 are the numbers that go to the line to pick our very first caller here on line 2. Hello. Good afternoon. What's Go ahead.
Well, I listened to your speech, but you asked me a question. You asked me as to whether the opposition is best suited to provide leadership direction for this country. And he said yes, but people can always say, look, if your Christmas will be fine, you will tell on the east. How can you tell the Liberians that your opposition, the opposition is organized when you don't even have unity within the opposition bloc? Today you have an opposition bloc that cannot even come together in a single district to elect a representative. You have an opposition bloc that cannot come together to form a government. If you're telling us that the opposition is organized in which form? Today, police and partners will be out to us.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Hello. Hello. We're doing fine. What's your name? Where you joining us from? Go ahead, Richie.
Yeah, I just listened to your speaker, and for me, he spoke very well. Rosano spoke well. But the issue for my position is that I think the opposition needs to do something better to come together. If they can't come together, I'm afraid that take power.
Okay.
I don't want for people to let it, talk about it. Let us make the state to the state authority to be better to know what it is actual cause. Because what is happening, and for me, I'm very encouraged from people.
Okay, my brother. Thank you very much. Hello.
Hello?
Go ahead. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel. We're getting in a phone from Upper Carwell.
Go ahead, email.
And, I listen to the studio guest. And sometimes when listening to some of our friends within the community, we always call for the opposition to kind of get us to defeat President Weah. Then I laugh. Because when the studio guest and other guys, we propose a brand year like President Weah have failed. He has not done anything like Rainbow Summit. Do you need people to kind of get us to remove him? You know, the fact that the guy is taking President Weah. You don't need to. You are already making clear that this man has failed according to you. You people say, I'm not doing anything like people are suffering. Why you people are asking people to kind of get to remove it? So it's like, but I'm talking to other president where he's strong and he's more strong.
Okay, thank you. Hello. 077-105-100, 055-105-100. Good evening. What's your name? Where are you joining us from? Go ahead, Christopher. All right, thank you. So when you say the man living hot and now he living upstairs, I don't think. Anyway, but that's a view. Let's go to this line here. Hello. Hello. Go ahead. What's your name? Go ahead, Thomas. Okay. Thank you. Let's take two more calls. Then we go to Daniel 077-105-100, are the numbers you can call to form part of the conversation. This is Hard Talk on ABC Radio with Anthony Jiffan and Theo Williams. This person, hello. Good
Please
afternoon.
lower your monitor. Just walk away a little bit to avoid the feedback.
Good evening. What's your name? Go ahead, Betty.
Let me say bravo to your studio guest. The opposition, whenever they appear on radio, I expect the government of what the thing they want to do to convince the Liberians to vote the person that they bring in to hate whether if the future to make them a better president for this country and what I expect out of them. But some of them, when they appear on microphone, they will speak. They are speaking things below people's expectations. If he's talking about the president was living in the hall and now he's living in under building, that's a room. Anthony, it's an insult.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So I think we, because our next guest is already
let's
here.
go back to Daniel
Yes,
to
let's go
respond to the
Daniel.
callers and probably wrap up. Use that as his closing comments. So, welcome.
But very interesting callers, and I will usually sit back and try to listen to the views from the callers. It's always interesting. Liberia is an interesting country. The callers are not fundamentally opposed. I think two of the callers have problem with my
Your presentation.
description of the president living in hot. No, there's no better way to say it, Theo.
They say you should be talking something that will impact Liberians.
I just talk about, look, the country has a very youthful population, right? And when you look at the high level of unemployment, among the country youthful population is a potential, that alone is a potential threat to the country's long-term peace and stability. So when you want to usher in a new government, you need a government that will talk about creating jobs for the Liberian youth. If not the whole country, but creating jobs for the Liberian youth. Right? That's one promise that our government have failed on. They said they're going to create 1 million jobs in the first quarter of the government, right? Today, if you ask them, they say, oh, there's no investment because COVID-19, or because Ebola crisis and this and that. So, I mean, I won't see a president. We are in the case of President Salif. They were giving all of the excuses because President Salif became president of the country during the most difficult era in our country's history. Yet they didn't rest. They knew that to become president, there were challenges that you have to address. They went ahead to seek ways and means through which your challenges will be addressed. Today, during the Salif administration, this country attracted billions of dollars in foreign direct investment. When you question them today, they say, oh, because Omewa, yeah. But not because Omewa, yeah. You have diminished the country reputation on the international scene. Nobody want to invest here. When an investor come, they extort money from the investors and everybody run away. So in the end, they have attracted zero investment. They have created zero job for the young people. That's no job. Okay? Many of our young people have been reduced to gambling in the morning and every day. Why? Because there's no job in the country. So we're talking about a government, installing a government that will address these issues. We're talking about installing a government that will know that, look, if you have a population that is idle, if you have young people that do not have job to do, it's a potential risk to the country peace and stability.
Daniel, you have 1 minute.
Okay, so that's what we want to do. And somebody talking about, oh, they're not saying what we do. We're saying what we want to do, but when we come to the studio, when the general asks a question, we have to respond to the question being asked. The two persons who intervened me, they were more interested in opposition unity than talking about what the next government will do for the people. But however, it's a continuing conversation. We have 8 months to the campaign, and I'm sure we'll all come back here to talk about it.
Daniel Sano,
your
position again? So
somebody, let me just conclude on the point. Somebody talk about opposition lacks unity, right? Again, there's no better way to lament on this thing. I've said to the young man,
That's an open secret.
I've said to the young man that we are divided ideologically, but we are united on a common front. What is that common front?
To remove
that common front is to ensure that Mr. Weah does not have a second term in the mansion.
even at the point where you took one
Let's
of
see how that
your
plays out.
quote, that person could be in jail.
But do you know?
Way.
Do you know the theory of a common enemy?
Okay.
In this
Daniel.
election, the common enemy of the Liberian people is George Weah.
Okay.
Let's see how that will play out in the final analysis.
Daniel, we hope to have you back here.
Thank you.
Time.
Thank
we
you.
have a couple of months away.
I mean, I'm very open to come here at any point in time.
Thank
so
you,
we can
Daniel.
have a better
We
conversation.
call you at a very short notice.
I like the atmosphere. Thank you for the good job.
Thank you.
Daniel Sano is the vice chair for Press and Public Affairs, Labour Party. Folks, you're listening to Hard Talk on ABC Radio. We're taking a break. To be right back.
Ziboji. His name is S. Michael Davis. Sonica Diabo is making his contribution on the Hard Talk this evening on ABC Radio 105.1. This is the maiden edition. And so from wherever you are monitoring us, whatever you're doing, I'd like to say welcome to 105.1. The Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation. My name is Theo Williams. My colleague is Anthony Jiffan. Together we cover you between 9 to 6 o'clock. Shortly we'll play host to Mr. Joseph Sako. He's the Executive Director of the Liberia Medical Mission. The mission is currently in the country for what? We'll be finding out. And other issues associated with their visit to the country. Well, we don't have the luxury of time, Tony. We have to bring down the music and usher in our guest, who is already pretty seated. Good evening, Mr. Sako. How are you today? Thanks for coming. We call you at a very short notice again, and you are here. Welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
So you can make use of the
the
headphone.
The headphone. Okay.
Yeah, if you want. Yes. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you very much, my dear brother, for inviting me to your studio. It's always a pleasure to be in your midst to tell the Liberian people the purpose of our mission in Liberia.
All right. How does it feel being in a country? And I'm told you visited other places. What has been the reception since you arrived?
Well, thank you so much. Liberia is my home. I was born and raised in Liberia. I currently live in the United States. It feels so good to be back home. It feels so good to be among friends, among family members, you know, among admirers, well-wishers. You know, it's always good to be back home.
Great. So let's know from you, Mr. Saka. Let's know the essence or the significance of your visit to Liberia. I'm told you are here with a delegation. Tell us more about that. Why are you here in country?
Well, we are here in the country as part of our annual commitment to the country, which is the Liberia Medical Mission providing free medical services to the people of Liberia as a way of giving back to the country. So this year we brought in about 31 professionals from the United Kingdom, the United States, Australia, Nigeria, and Ghana. So it's basically global. We mobilize global resources to bring into the country.
Okay. Team of experts.
Absolutely. And which ranges from general medicine to mental health training.
Great. Besides you being here, just give us a brief historicity about the Liberia Medical Mission. How did it all start?
Well, it all started.
Something's ringing. Is that your phone?
Let me see.
All right, folks, never mind for the interruption, but you are live with us on ABC Radio 105.1. We are the official voice of Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation. We're beaming live and direct from the corner of Brown Buchanan Streets here in Monrovia. We have as our guest on the second and final lap of the Hard Talk, Mr. Joseph Saka. He's the Executive Director of the Liberia Medical Mission. He's here to tell us more about their visitation to Liberia and what is in store. You were in flight before the interruption. Continue, please.
Okay. So, like I was saying, we brought in these experts from 5 different countries, the United States, UK, Australia, Nigeria, and Ghana.
All right.
So, to provide mental health training, eye care, So our estimated target this year for giving give of sight to Liberians will be in the neighborhood of 200 or 200 plus if all goes well. For the mental health training, that has been going very well. I know you visited the, you saw the training. We are putting out the second batch of people this afternoon. I was hoping that I could invite you to officiate at that ceremony. That training has been going on very well, and people have really expressed their interest. We'll start the next set of a team tomorrow. We're having participants coming from Ministry of Gender and other different organizations and civil organizations are participating. So we're very happy that we're making some impact in the country.
And so, Mr. Sako, what does it require a person to form part of the training?
It does not require. All you have to do is that make sure that you have the commitment, because it's a 3-day commitment. 9 to 5. I go and get the knowledge and be certified. So that's all. That's all it requires.
What is the targeted group for this training?
The targeted group mainly are people in the managerial areas, nurses, doctors, law enforcement officers, and folks in the like correctional officers. We try to reach out to the Justice Ministry, and folks that have been working with our disadvantaged youth communities. So these are the people that we will be dealing with. So basically, those are our target group.
Okay, great. So while you're in the country, I'm told you visited other health facilities.
Yes.
Across Monrovia and its environs. Let's know from you specifically, why did you visit those health facilities, and what was the reception?
Well, generally, when Liberia Medical Mission is in the country, the general mood is always positive because they know what we bring for them.
Okay.
They know that, there are services that are badly needed in the country, and those are the services that we bring in terms of eye care, in terms of assessing people's conditions and educating our people how to manage their respective diseases and illnesses. So basically, those are some of the things that are, and one important thing that we also brought is that the biomedical engineer. The biomedical engineer that repairs broken equipment. So we put out the announcement, hey, if you have a broken equipment, that you need help with, okay, we're in the country. We'll do that for you free of charge. Okay, so I'm sure those that are listening, they will try to reach out to, I know we have reached, some have already reached out to us. They have a problem with the x-ray that has not been working. So we want to help out.
So how far, what's the coverage area of this Liberia Medical Mission?
So currently we have targeted 7 counties.
Okay.
Monserrado County, Monserrado, Bomi, Bapalo, and Cape Mount, Nima County. Okay.
Okay.
So we have run into a lot of logistical issues, meaning that vehicles we don't have, so we have been improvising. Yesterday we dispatched a team of surgical team, the eye surgical team, to Nima County. They arrived there safely. I'm pleased to let you know that they started working on the surgical cases today in Ganta. People were brought in from different locations, villages in Nima County, and also outside of Nima County, as I learned. Thanks to the to the national coordinator, Dr. Kakula, who went to do that mobilization in Nima County, along with the administrator, Mr. Allen, at Ganta Methodist Mission. So yes, we are reaching out to other counties. This week we'll be in Bomi, and we are also visiting some part of Monrovia and outside of Monrovia.
All right. A member of the team has just joined us. I'd like you to just introduce yourself, ma'am. Let's know you. What is your position at the Liberia Medical Mission. Thanks for coming, anyway.
Thank you.
How are you today?
Fine, thank
You look so exhausted.
I had to climb that step like I was going to heaven.
So move a little bit closer to the microphone and make use of the
The
headphone
headgear, yes.
as well. Okay, so anyone out there listening wants to know who has just entered the studio. Can you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Clara Dalmida McIntosh. I'm the local representative for Liberia Medical Mission. And I would like to say thank you for inviting us.
Okay, great. Let's talk about the mission activities. Your executive director was in flight minutes ago before you arrived. Give us a brief historicity about the mission. How did it all start?
Well, exactly, the mission started from the States.
All right.
A group of Liberians, knowing the needs and the problems that our people are having, decide to get themselves together and come over to help. The first mission came in 2011. It was okay, Liberians. But the beautiful part about it, all the doctors and nurses that came in 2011 were all Liberians. And they all paid their way to come here. Nobody gave them a penny to come to Liberia. They did it on their own initiative. Some of the doctors left their practices to come to Liberia and stayed for 3 weeks and went back. And since then they have been coming. And when they come, our people are so delighted. Look, we might not know the amount of people in this country that cannot afford to buy one aspirin.
Okay.
And when the mission comes like that, they bring in all the equipment that they use and bring in enough medicine for the people that they're going to see. This time coming, excuse me, they brought in $1.5 million worth of drug by air. And again, we're talking about another $4.5 million worth of drugs are coming on the sea that have not gotten in yet. So it's every year it's a different thing. This year we have a lot of international doctors that came along with the Liberian team.
Okay.
And they also changed the dynamic. Before it used to be strictly medical operation. But this time they brought educational.
All right.
So they were able to start teaching our people how to do CPR. And they also brought in something that is very important, which we do not think is important. Because if you see somebody walking the street, talking to themselves, ha 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 ha, look at him talking to himself. But we don't realize
mental illness.
It could be you, it could be me, it could be anybody else. So they brought in a team that were able to teach how to identify and how to help our mental people, which we take for granted. We take it for joke. And the classes that were taught in America, you will be paying $4,000 to $5,000 to attend the class. But our people got it for free. And the classes are still going on. We got it for free. So there are a lot of things that the mission has brought to Liberia, but our people still have not, I don't want to say recognize, or I don't want to say appreciate the effort of young Liberians coming back to give something to the country. And I hope and pray that next year or the year after, they're going to come every 2 years. But when they come next year after, we will be able, including you, and you, we will all be able to put hands and help them. all the mission asks for when they come here, accommodation, it includes food, transportation, and somewhere to live.
And how are you managing with that?
That's the $95 question. We send out letters to ask for help, and we put it in a nice form. We say partnership. But so far so good, only one person has given us a good bit of money.
All right.
$1,000. I call it a good bit of money because $1,000 is a lot of money. But all the other people that we have written have not given a cent. And you call them today, they will answer the phone, but you call them tomorrow, they will not answer of their phone, which is one of our usual behavior.
Is that hampering your operations here?
Definitely. People have to go into their personal money now to pay the hotel, to get food for the people, and even give the volunteers. Some Liberians that volunteer their time to come and work with the mission. Nurses. And you have to give them something to eat. You give them water to drink. Where do you get this money from? When the mission that came from the States took all their time, all their money, then to come over here to do something. The drugs that they brought didn't come from their pocket. That's donation. Because they were able to go out and talk to people, and the people look at it and say, oh, Africa, yes, they need it. So they donated all these drugs, and the people were able to ship them also. But then what can I tell you? I mean, just this much we're supposed to do for ourselves. And it's almost impossible.
Okay. Let me go back to Dr. Saka. Is the Ministry of Health in the know of the mission's visit or presence here in the country? Are you guys working in collaboration?
Yes, absolutely. And we are grateful to the Ministry of Health. They have been...
Just speak to the microphone a little bit.
Yes, the Ministry of Health has been a good partner. They have been very, very resourceful in facilitating the presence of the mission here. Our shipment, the drugs that we brought in, the Ministry of Health in collaboration with the LRA and other requisite governmental agencies have been very, helpful. In the mission, in terms of the duty free, in terms of making sure that our visiting nurses and doctors have licenses to see patients. So yes, I will say, well, they have been great partners.
And so if I want to know, how long have you been into this business, particularly in Liberia?
How long have been in Liberia now?
Yes, with this
mission.
Liberia Medical Mission.
We arrived on the 24th this year, and since the 24th we have been here. I'm providing these critical services.
And how is it been received by Liberians?
Oh my God!
Those who are benefiting from
the
free medical services you're rendering.
Absolutely. I mean, it's always been emotional for me, as a Liberian, that our team has been able to restore hopes through at least, restore someone's dignity. Because I was just telling someone today, human beings, our life activities centered around our sight. You understand? If you lose your sight, there is nothing. You cannot do anything without the assistance of someone. Whether someone has to feed you, someone has to help you put your clothes on, somebody has to take care of your movement. All right. So there are cases where people have been blind due to cataract for years. And some of those critical cases were taken care of by the Liberia Medical Mission. We have videos, we have testimonies upon testimonies. But all what they would say, thank you for intervention, thank you for intervention, and that's all we need from Liberians. Offer your prayers to your sons and daughters that left their homes, and tell thank you to our international partners, those that do not have connection with Liberia, those that don't even know for the first time, Googling Liberia to see what Liberia is. Thanking them, holding their hands, and praying for them. So these are some of the emotional things that we have, always run into.
Is there a mobile team or your station at various health facilities in Monrovia and its environs?
So we do this on a rotational basis to afford other communities to benefit from the Liberia Medical Mission presence in Liberia.
All right.
So for the eye, yes, we did a screening at a Redemption. Unfortunately, we would have loved to do as thousands of cases as possible. We could not do that, okay, because we have limited time. We have limited time, at least, to be in the country. So what I'm saying here is that now we are moving now to Ganta. We started with Ganta today.
You say you're here for 2 weeks?
Yeah. Generally, we
How many more days left?
Basically, the mission winds down Friday or Saturday, and the entire teams leave on Sunday.
Are there plans to probably extend from what you've been getting a few? Have you exhausted all your work?
Not really.
All right.
Because even our projected number of cases that we had in mind, remember, every time that we come, and people that cannot afford to even pay for a one prescription.
Right.
These diabetic and cholesterol and hypertension medications are very expensive. So there are people that come, okay, yeah, I have a prescription that costs $420. I saw a lady that came in the clinic. Hey, I had a prescription of $420, but I have to make a decision whether to take care of myself and my grandchildren, where I had to go and sell coconuts every day to feed myself. How many years will I sell my coconut to be able to save $420 to buy my prescription? So ultimately, they decide and say, okay, you know what? If my time comes to to die, I will die, but I need to feed myself and my grandchildren. So with the coming of the Liberia Medical Mission, we provided these people with for these medication that they have been praying for day and night to get. So these are some of the huge benefits of our presence in the country.
Having said that, Mr. Saka, how many Liberians do you have trooping in at those various health facilities to get treatment?
Oh yeah. They are in the thousands.
Okay.
Some areas, the line will be queuing. We will start probably from at 8 o'clock all the way. Right now in Ghana's area, Jakarta area.
What is the target for a day? How many persons do you cater to on a daily basis?
Well, if everything goes, it varies. Sometimes in some areas we do 200 or 300. In some areas, again, it all depends, because when we leave our hotel, to go, there's a traffic and there's a whole lot of things that we run into. All right. By the time we get there, sometimes late. We'll try to leave the hotel. In a good day, we do more than 200. Sometimes do 300. Sometimes 150. Some area 125.
All right.
Okay, so it varies.
That's a huge number.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So from the public health perspective, once you address the health needs of one person, that is a plus. Because we strongly believe that, Mr. Chio, a healthy nation tends to be a productive nation. All right. We all saw Ebola. What happened? The government shut down. So this is why Liberia Medical Mission is here. And our goal is very simple. We are coming, Liberia, the government, all the agencies. What can we do? How can we work together to improve the healthcare system? We don't need pay. We don't want you to pay us. All what we want to do is to give back. So help us help you. That's what we're here for.
Have you had any interference with politicians as you go about doing your work? Because mind you, we are in a political season now. We are a couple of months away to elections.
Yeah.
Was there a case where you encounter a politician who wants to probably weigh into what you're doing for some political reasons?
We as an organization, a non-profit, non-political, non-religious, and non-ethnic organization, we try to at least go away
Okay.
from politicians interfering into our work. If anyone wants to identify with Liberian Medical Mission's work, you can only do that as a private citizen,
Okay.
as a Liberian who means well for Liberia, but not to use the Liberian Medical Mission for your political campaign. No,
Okay.
we were not going to accept that, and it's totally unacceptable. That goes contrary to our, to our statute, both in the United States and also in Liberia.
Great. You're coming in.
So you're listening to Hard Talk. It's on ABC Radio 105.1. Theo Williams and Anthony Jiffan, our guests, come from Liberia Medical Mission. What they're here telling us about their mission here in Liberia and how they are impacting the lives of Liberians through their medical initiative.
Free medical services.
Yes. Well, shortly we'll be coming to you to maybe there are some of you who are listening, you want to form part, but I'm told they'll be leaving us soon. But I'm sure when there are people coming in, because when God tells you to do something, when people are coming more, you have to extend it to another time. So I'd like to know, how is this Liberian Medical Mission been supported?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Because what you're doing is cost intensive. I mean, taking people from across the world, coming in to provide expert services is cost intensive. How are you managing in the midst of all of the financial challenges you've outlined?
Yes. You did mention something previously that, when God touches your heart, I strongly believe that we as Liberians that, form part and parcel of this organization, we are doing God's work. It's priceless. Okay? It's tough, to be honest with you. Because our organization, unfortunately, does not benefit from any grants in the United States, federal, nor state, even the Liberian government. We have not been subsidized by any government funding. So everything that we get, that we do, comes from individual contributions. We go into our family savings. The luxurious vacation that we needed to, sometimes take with our families, we deny our families just to be in Liberia. Okay? I was just telling someone the last time, I said, 3 weeks ago, some kind of miraculous sickness got on me. Immediately, I just got disabled. I was in a wheelchair for 2 weeks in a year. Okay? And I asked God. Okay? I have only 3.5 weeks to the mission. We have invited all of these people coming from Australia, coming to us. I said, God, if it is your will for me to be in Liberia to provide these services to the people, let me walk before my mission. And he answered my prayer. Here am I.
Okay.
But it's very tough. Look at Siskar, as she is now. Sometimes she will use her own money, go and make photocopies, prepare food for the team, and all of this stuff. So individuals come in with these contributions as Liberians to say, listen, when we come together as Liberians, we can do a lot of great things. And that's the whole thing.
Okay, we want to take some calls now, but before going to the phone lines, let me ask you this final question, then we can open up the lines to engage with the public. You talked about something, and I want to ask you about it. I want to know from you and probably your partner here, how is it possible? How are you managing, with some of the folks you encounter? What are some of the severity of the cases you work on a daily basis?
Let me talk about the eye.
Okay.
You have to excuse me, I get it back.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple of days ago, this is, we who have seen them, to us it's just everyday thing whenever the mission is here. Okay, but we had a little girl, 6 years old, both eyes with cataract.
Wow.
And we couldn't do much about it because we don't have a P ophthalmologist here. So she has to be referred. We had another guy who, the flesh just grew right over his eye. He couldn't see. One of the surgeons operated on that. And then the ophthalmologist did the implant of the cataract.
Okay.
So that's just one of two. I gave you an example of a lady that had not seen her grandchildren from the time they were born.
Wow.
And when Dr. Conrad did the operation for her that morning, by 2 o'clock, he took off the bandage. She could see.
Wow.
And this girl walked up to her and she looked at her and said, "Who are you?" And the girl didn't say anything because she would recognize the voice, but she had never seen any of them.
Okay.
So the girl called her name, said, "Let's give her a name." Say, "I'm Sarah." She said, "You my grandchild?" She busted up and started crying.
Wow.
You see, this is what we are talking about. That lady would have died being blind, whereas she could have been helped. And so, this is it. You wonder, the sacrifices people make for other people. And your time and everything you put into it. But just as you say, you must love it. And you must have a pure heart to do that humanitarian job. And that's what it's all about.
Okay. Let's take some calls now. My colleague will announce the numbers. Anthony, go ahead. Please announce the numbers.
0777 105 100 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 are the numbers you can call to form part of the conversation. You listen to Dr. Sako and Mr. Joseph Sako from the Liberia Medical Mission. You can call us now. Maybe you want to ask any question. Maybe you want to help because what they're doing it voluntarily. Maybe you want to contribute to this project. How you listen to what he just explained. There was a time, maybe 3 weeks to the mission. He got sick. He was wondering, but he asked God, if this is for you, let me be healed. And definitely, and so those kind of prayers matter a lot. Sometimes they help. Call us 0777 105 100 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 to be a part of the conversation here on Hard Talk. This person is here already. Hello. Good evening. What's your name? From where you call?
So my name is Jiffan. I joined from the electoral district in Johnsonville.
Quiet.
And let me say good evening to your studio guest. And let me start by saying my own appreciation to him. You see, he has changed my some of the churches that we have been traffic. These are some of the service classes they provide. And imagine coming from abroad, getting expertise, coming back to your country for the politics, for some ambition. You see that you stay owing to the people. That's when we become there, when we travel, we have some level of experiences, and we think we can give back to our people in our way. Let us do what we do. This is what exactly that we do. I appreciate them, and when you call it kind of good, my parents said it, everyone cannot be politician, everyone is going individuals still give a sound that, but as they come in the need of supporting a political party and build themselves up together, we want to best support this party, getting your party to work, put something in the account before they receive that kind of support. So we wish that well-meaning Liberians who are in the capacity, people who feel they can afford and they think that we need to give back to the society or the good government, they can all see these people on the aim to work together with. It's a ministry. We know our first sector is not a challenge.
Okay.
So it's expect that they come into grassroots sometimes and the ministry just invite them and say, okay, you have to come to the budget of this is what you can do for the guy.
Okay.
So I want to say thank you and I appreciate the evaluation.
Thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Like you said, politicians will want to do it when they go to endorse. Even on the show, politician was just here. There were too many calls. They listen to humanitarian. Nobody is even in a position to call.
So as we anticipate the calls, let me ask this question. Any of you can take it. You mentioned that you brought tons of equipment to the country, and knowing the fact that Liberia is challenged, we have a problem of electricity is not stable. How are you managing with those equipment you brought in country to carry out your operation or like that?
Thank you so much. I think my local rep here will forgive me to take that question.
Go ahead.
Yes, you're right. We have been bringing a lot of equipment, and the good news is that every time we are in the country, we bring our own biomedical engineer who knows about the equipment and who can also teach the beneficiaries on how to use the different pieces of equipment. So we had a scenario. Two of our visiting ophthalmologists brought the microscope, but because of the current, the voltage system.
All right. We have 220 here.
Yes. So, unfortunately, transformer was put on the wrong voltage.
Wow.
The two microscope that they brought to help the country got blown off.
Wow.
So that posed serious challenges for the mission because it really impeded our operation.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Finally, I don't know whether my colleague have something else to chip in, but let me ask you this final question. Time is fast spent. You talked about the training of people who will cater to people with mental disabilities. When are you going to start the actual work besides the training? I mean, to provide some health services to people who are mentally ill, because we have many of them in our country.
Okay. Well, the training that we are providing is like a trainer.
All right.
Okay. Identify individuals in the various sectors that will be able to identify symptoms, like my dear sister said. Look, as a result of the war, we are all traumatized.
That's okay.
We all have some sort of a mental issue. So one time we're driving, then one of my colleagues look at us and said, why two persons that keep yelling at one another, no one listening, everybody just angry at one another. So I was just telling her, I said, look, this is just a common something. We went through a lot, Even some of us in the state, some little bit of symptom, manifests itself from time to time. But yes, the whole idea of the training is to get these people that will serve as as trainer in the various communities.
All right.
And I work with some of these disadvantaged people. From there, then I will also be bringing a psychiatrist and flowing in a psychiatrist. But you have to educate people to know the symptoms and also to acknowledge what are those symptoms.
Okay.
And, yeah.
All right. We have to go.
Yes,
Time is
of
now our
course.
friend this business.
Yes.
Your closing comments as we take leave of you. Beginning with the
I'd like to say thanks first to you. And I would like to say thanks to a lot of the young nurses and things that came out to help the volunteer. We say thanks to them too. We say thanks to the Ministry of Health
All right.
for the little help they gave us. I mean, which was a lot by making it possible for us to get the drugs and whatnot into the country. And to the gentleman who gave us the $1,000 with our name, we'd like to say thanks to him if he's listening.
Okay.
And thank you for having us. And we hope the next time, 2 years from now, maybe 6 months from now, when the medical mission comes, you will be a part of it.
Okay.
Just by handing out drugs, packing the shit. That's all we need. Thank you.
Great. Mr. Saka, how would you like to close up?
Yes, quickly, let me extend my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to your team for inviting us. We're always available to speak to the media because we depend on you to spread the information. I also like to extend my thanks and appreciation to some local businesses. The Lebanese Cultural Association of Liberia, through their president Ahmed Wazni, for their generous donation, in-kind donation. I also Kiro International and Aminata and Sons, even Ala Lagoon for having us at the hotel.
All right.
Colony Hotel. Most of the businesses here, their moral support, their in-kind donation, and to the nurses, the young nurses that have expressed interest is unbelievable. The amount of young nurses that came to us and said, well, you know what, we want to volunteer, we want to learn from you. We want to learn from you, we want to get some of that education from your visiting nurses and something. It was unbelievable. Okay, we are not paying them, we're not even don't have the money to feed them, but yet still, every morning by 5 o'clock in the morning, they're at the hotel, we're ready to work.
Okay.
We salute them, we salute the Ministry of Health, the government. We say thank you for having us here.
Thank you. He's Mr. Joseph Saka. He's the executive director of the Liberia Medical Mission. The mission is here in Liberia currently, rendering some medical assistance to those who are in need, dying need as a matter of fact. It's been a wonderful conversation. Thanks to my colleague Anton, who has been here with me. We'll have to go, my man. Time is of the essence in broadcasting.
We'll be here tomorrow for another edition of the program.
Should we tell the audience what will be happening tomorrow, or should we keep it?
Well,
for now.
I think we have to. But he
Can we let it get out of the bag?
He promised it to be very great tomorrow. A councillor and a politician will be here tomorrow.
Great. So you better watch out for ABC Radio. We're here in full blast. No doubt. We have to make the difference when it comes to broadcasting. Not just broadcasting, but quality broadcasting. So watch out for all of our news and programs on this radio. Thanks to the management. We have to give it up to the management for the opportunity to be here on this hard talk. I mean, I know, Anthony. Yeah. So thanks to our young and energetic manager Fidel City. Thanks to the entire working force here at ABC Radio. Thanks to all of you who are always glued to our programs. We urge you to continue to stay with us once you are looking for the best in quality broadcasting. My name is Theo Williams.
Have yourself a pleasant good day from Morovia.